Hello and welcome to the Curiosity and Consciousness podcast. The intention of this podcast is to help you to open your mind, get curious about yourself and raise your consciousness levels. Through these conversations, we hope that you will go on an inward journey to discover the truth of who you are and become the conscious creator of your life. I am your host, Karen Maloney, and I work as an inside-out coach, mentor and guide, helping women to revolutionize their internal chatter and create a life they love. Listen to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or whatever platform you choose. And be sure to like, subscribe, review, and share the podcast. Check out my website as well, soulpowerlight.com, for more info. Hello everybody, how are you all doing? It's me, Karen Maloney, and thanks for tuning in for another episode. And this week it is a short episode, again a solo cast with myself. Before we jump into that, just a reminder to join my mailing list if you so wish. Go to my Instagram at soulpowerlight is my handle. Click the link in my bio and it's top of the list. So in this episode I want to talk about actually an episode that happened recently. Just this week there was an earthquake here in Mexico and I wasn't in the epicenter. I'm probably, 500 kilometers or so away, but it was felt here and it was just before 9 p.m. at night. I don't know if you've ever been in an earthquake before, but this is actually my third. And it was definitely the strongest. And again, it just kind of brings things into perspective. I mean, I'm totally okay. The city where we are is okay. There was no damage, but it was felt strongly. And it actually lasted quite a long time, probably 10 to 15 seconds. That may not seem like a lot, but when literally the ground beneath you is fucking shaking and moving and trembling and swaying from side to side, it feels like an eternity, believe me. And the two I experienced before that weren't as strong and were definitely shorter, just a couple of seconds. But even those couple of seconds, they rattle you. You literally feel like you're floating. It's like vertigo. You lose all sense of gravity because literally the ground is swaying. So anyway, it was about 9 p.m. I was in bed reading, sitting on the bed, sitting up, and all of a sudden I just kind of felt weird because, the first thing you don't think of is, oh my God, it's an earthquake. And next thing I looked up and the freestanding mirror in front of me was like shaking like mad from side to side and the curtains were going crazy. And then I copped, oh my God, it's an earthquake. And like that, everything was swaying, the whole house was swaying, and you literally can just feel the ground, the earth moving beneath you. And it's really funny because we feel so connected, and we are. That's how gravity works. We are literally connected to the ground. We don't feel this sensation of floating in our day-to-day basis, but when an earthquake hits, we kind of lose that sense of gravity and we feels like you're on a boat. And even after the initial earthquake, there can come lots of little smaller tremors, which happened also, and you just kind of feel like you're on a boat, nauseous, vertigo, dizzy, that kind of sensation. So I was thinking about it again, and just a couple of insights to share again when you reflect on an event happening, whatever that is. Again, I'm totally fine. The city where we are, we're fine. There has been damage near the epicenter in Acapulco, and that's really difficult. But when I was reflecting afterwards, these are just some of the insights, lessons, and appreciations that came up for me. So I wanted to share them with you all because, again, these reminders can never be lost, and we don't need to wait for serious events to happen to bring us back to these truths. So first and foremost, let me just say, Mother Earth is such a force. If she wants us gone, we will be gone and destroyed in a heartbeat. That destruction, the power she holds, is mind-blowing. So, Mother Earth, we need to respect her more. We need to stop our destructive, plundering ways and overconsumption and overproduction. We need to come back into harmony with Mother Earth to prevent such huge natural disasters happening. And especially when it comes to deforestation, destroying our forests or jungles, everything. It all plays a part. This is not just happening for the sake of it. It's global warming, it's all interconnected, but it is all, I believe, as a result of our initial destruction and plundering of Mother Earth in and of itself. In one sense, I don't fear for Mother Earth because the planet has been evolving for millennia. She's got this, she's okay, she's going to continue no matter what. What's going to happen is we are going to destroy ourselves in the process if we really, really, really do not change our ways. Yes, there are plates. Yes, these things happen. But yes, I think they're being exasperated by us, by humanity, by the human race, and the destruction we are causing. So first and foremost, just an invitation for us all to remember again how important the planet is to us. To be honest, I've way more fear of a natural disaster than COVID any day, because it can be a game changer in an instant, wiped, gone, total destruction, as we've seen already in so many different parts of the world and already this year. So that's a first little reminder, first of all, just to within yourself, within your family, within your community, to really start honouring and respecting Mother Earth again, to not destroy and plunder. And that means as well in the greater scheme of production, consumption, what you're buying, what you're throwing away, living in this, fast consumerism society. It does not serve. Buy things that are high quality, sustainable, move away from high fashion and destruction. Another thing that came to mind is, how quick things can change in a couple of seconds. And I've said this before, even with all the best planning in the world, thinking, strategizing, whatever, we actually have no idea what's coming in the next second. And yes, there are earthquake alarms here in Mexico, but they give you about a 30-second warning to get the hell out of your house or run for cover. That's not a lot of warning in the grand scheme of things. So we really are blind, and that's always the truth, because we are in an ever-evolving present moment that is continually renewing, changing, evolving. We forget this. We think things are very stable, very safe, very secure, because maybe we repeat the same things day in, day out, but actually every new moment is a brand new moment, and it can bring anything about in that brand new moment. But I'm also sharing this as well, not as a reminder or an idea that we need to live in fear. No, what we need to do is to do our inner work, to get stable within ourselves, to get confident and trusting and being comfortable in the uncomfortable of the present. So we are more present and we are more appreciative of every new moment that we are giving, and we are willing to stay connected to ourselves, stay connected to our higher truth. If we're knocked out of alignment through fear, through a comment or a remark by someone else or an action by someone else, we don't go into revenge and resentment. We look at it within ourselves. What part is it touching within ourselves? How can we realign, reconnect more to ourselves? What do we need to recalibrate within ourselves so we move out of this reactionary, fear-based way of living? Again, it's not about living in fear. Visualize your future, dream about it, aim big. We didn't come here to play small, but visualize it, feel as if it's done, and let it go. Be present, follow what shows up in the moment, and appreciate the life you do have, the people you do have right now in the moment, in every moment. Because when we do that as well, again, we move out of this reactionary way of living, and we are able to face things more easier as they arrive. And we are more conscious, and we have better clarity, and we can think better in situations when they arise. So yeah, present moment living, which also ties into forgiving, letting shit go, not carrying it. Imagine if you were wiped out in a second, and this is not to be morbid, but again, I think the more that we remember that death could be around the corner for any of us, it doesn't matter where you are, what age you are, how much money you have or don't have, your education, death is around the corner for all of us. When that corner will arrive, we don't know. So it's living your best life. It's letting go. It's forgiving. It's loving. It's always coming back to love. Love is the only truth. So if you get knocked out of love, we can't live in love 24/7, but we can constantly come back to it. We can constantly do the inner work to reflect, to see why did we react in such a way? Again, what part of it is touching within us that we can come back to, that we can heal, that we can have compassion for ourselves, and then come back to love. Life is too short to be angry and miserable and resentful, because again, when we feel these things, no matter what has happened, we feel them. So, it's that saying again, we're not responsible for what happens to us, but we are 100% responsible for our healing. That is our responsibility. So it's getting honest again and seeing how does it serve you to carry this pain, this bitterness, because the only person you're truly affecting is yourself. So forgive, let go, process it, move through the emotional pain and rise, grow, evolve, come back to love, live your life, enjoy your life. It is for living. We didn't come here to play small. We came here to live in abundance, to follow our dreams, to follow our desires, to live from our heart, to live from our truth, to be the greatest expression of ourselves. That's what we came here to be, and we can only be ourselves. So again, comparison is futile. We are enough. We are all here. We are all here for a purpose. We are all created by creation. There is no one better than another. Doesn't matter who you are, what you have. There is no one more superior than any other human on this planet. So it's remembering these truths, living your life according to you, your soul, your calling, your intuition, your desires. Because again, life is short. It's to live with no regrets. If death came tomorrow, if disaster came tomorrow, if something happened tomorrow or the next moment, doing a life review, would you have regrets? Would you have desires in your heart that you didn't get to explore? Because that for me is a life truly not lived. It doesn't matter about failure, about what other people think. Again, this is our work to move through why we're bothered about failing or what others might think. Because again, we have life. It is a gift. We are all here to be part of this adventure right now. However long, however short it is, it all serves a purpose. So these are all the different truths, messages, lessons that I was just reflecting on again since this. And I'm not going to say it wasn't a near-death experience because, as I say, thankfully, where we were, everyone is safe, all is good. But again, it just reinforce that truth again that we actually never know what is around the corner. And again, that's not to say live in fear and be terrified and don't do anything with your life and wrap yourself in a cotton ball. No, that's not what we came here. It's to live the truest, fullest expression of who you are, to live in love, to remove all the blocks and limitations that keep you out of love. That is our true work, and that's why we're here. And when we all do this inner work, when we all connect to our true heart, we not only help ourselves, we help the collective, we help Mother Earth, we help future generations. It all helps. So that's it for today's episode. Again, I hope you get something from it. Hope you enjoyed this remembrance, these messages, these reflections, and I invite you to sit with them, to be curious about them, and to allow them to soak into your being, into your essence, and see what comes up for you. And whatever comes up, wherever there are resistances, blocks, fears, limitations that we hold, that's our work. They are blocks not to hold us back. They are blocks as invitations of what we need to move through, again, in order to come back to our truest self. And that's the work. Ever evolving, ever constant, radical self-responsibility. That's what it all comes down to, awakening to that truth. And again, living our best lives. So let me know what you think. And again, as always, if anyone needs help and support with this, please feel free to reach out. Go to my website, soulpowerlight.com. Send me an email, Karen@soulpowerlight.com, and we can have a chat. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you get notified every time a new show is released. Get more information on this week's guest as well on my website www.soulpowerlight.com.